Hi, today we're talking about advocacy and how being the parent of a transgender child can help you to become a better advocate for yourself. So, advocacy isn't something that comes easy to a lot of us, and especially advocating for yourself. But once your child comes out as being transgender, what you learn to do very quickly is to advocate for your child. And what that could look like is speaking up to others when they use your child's name incorrectly or use their incorrect pronouns. Or maybe speaking up in a family conversation when your family is not being supportive of your child, where maybe once you would have stayed silent and just inwardly been mad about it. Or it could look like asking questions in a group on social media to get information that you need to help support your child, where previously you would have just stayed quiet also, so that you didn't out yourself as the parent of a transgender child, because sometimes that feels really hard. So sometimes we go into these groups and we just read and we read and we take in information, but we have questions that we really want to know answers to, and we're afraid to put those questions out there because then we're saying, "Hi, here I am, this is me." And so those kind of things are advocating for our child, right? And then the next stage of advocacy would be advocating for members of the transgender community at large, the larger community. And that could look like writing to your representatives and expressing how you feel about bills that they're presenting that could impact the transgender community. Or it could look like going to the state house and sharing your thoughts in front of the actual legislation, um, in opposition or in favor of legislation that they're passing, to let them know how you, as the parent of a transgender child, feel about what they're doing, how it impacts you, how it impacts your family. And so that is a larger kind of advocacy, right? It's the next logical progression. And as you get more comfortable being an advocate for your child and for the transgender community, you might find that it becomes easier to advocate, and that you suddenly find yourself advocating for yourself if that's not something that you have been able to do before. Maybe you discover that you have found your voice in a way that you have never done, and you're suddenly advocating for yourself, with, say, your doctors, or for your um, with your I'm trying to find some examples here and I'm failing. But for setting boundaries, for example, setting boundaries is really hard, and that's a way that you advocate for yourself. And a lot of us have a really hard time for that, because it means that we have to be courageous and use our voice, and that's a really hard thing to do. So as you become a stronger advocate for your child, you may find that you start becoming a advocate for yourself, and it's just because you're getting more and more practice with that kind of advocacy work, and it's just a natural progression. So I just wanted to hop on here and talk about that a little bit. I do have a post about this on my website, and I'll put the link in the description if you want to go and read it. And we will talk again real soon.